Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So we have been discussing on the manufacturing of the citric acid. So these topics are very important for GET biotechnology, specifically in process biotechnology. So I have discussed the basics of citric acid, the background, the applications, and how it was manufactured earlier times using the chemical method. So for your convenience, I would ask you go back and check my previous lecture before moving on with this lecture. So in this lecture, we will concentrate on the background, how the microbial process of citric acid was developed. Okay, so here we will only concentrate on microbial manufacturing of citric acid. Okay, so previously people thought how we can manufacture citric acid using microbial means. Okay, because that would enable greater and production of the citric acid, and it was first among them was Wemer. So he showed that a particular microorganism, which he called at that time, it was called Citromyces. Okay, Citromyces. Now it is named as Penicillium. Okay, this accumulated citric acid in a culture medium. This organism accumulated citric acid, I write Ca for that, in a culture medium. Okay, containing sugars and inorganic salts. And inorganic salts. Okay, but this work did not directly lead to commercial process, but it acted as a setting up the base for subsequent search for other microorganisms. So very soon people came up with other microorganisms. Okay, most of them were strains of Aspergillus. Okay, so the famous strain is Aspergillus niger. So this is the very famous strain. Okay, you will get to know why, because we will be dealing with all the subsequent lectures mostly concentrated on this. So apart from that, there were various other strains of Aspergillus, like Aspergillus awamori. Okay, Aspergillus lucensis. Okay, Aspergillus lucensis, Aspergillus finicus, and others. Okay, apart from that, there were other strains of other microorganisms like botrytis, like U penicillium, okay, and others. So now after this thing, it was Curie. Okay, what did she do? She found strains of Aspergillus niger that produce citric acid. Okay, Curie found strains of what? Aspergillus niger that produced citric acid. But where? That is the question. In a media with low pH values, low pH values. Okay, this is important, low pH values. Why? I will tell just now. High sugar values, high sugar and mineral salts. Okay, why? Because it was known that this low pH value, so in high pH value, Aspergillus niger produce oxalic acid. Okay, and in low pH value it produces this citric acid. So it is the basic difference between these pH values that is making Aspergillus niger produce two different kinds of organic acids. So when it is high pH, it is producing oxalic acid. When it is low pH, it is producing citric acid. And another thing is that this oxalic acid is quite toxic to the citric acid. So when you are producing citric acid, the oxalic acid amount has to be kept low. That's why the pH should be kept low. Alright, so citric acid is in biotechnological terms, it is called as a low value product. Okay, it is actually a low value product because it could be made, it is very easily available in natural form and it could be easily made, and the market is always very competitive, so you have to make the improvements in the manufacturing so that you get the better yield at minimal cost, right? So that's our motto of studying the different processes of manufacturing of organic acids. So in any process, the motto is you have to lower the cost, manufacturing cost, but you have to increase the yield in order to survive the market. Many a times the exact processes and details are not known because they are protected by patent, but we know the general outline how it is done. Okay, the exact details may not be available, but we can at least study how it can be done in a general microbial process. Okay, that's all for this lecture. I will cover the different methods of citric acid production, like the surface method, submerged method, and continuous and immobilized methods and yeast based methods in my subsequent lecture videos. Thank you.